Hollywood celebrities are waging absolute war one against another over AI, and this time they don't have a unified line. Nobody has told them what they're supposed to say, nor what they should believe. Today we'll tell you why they're heaving insults and fury one at another, and oh brother, this one's getting ugly. It's a great day. It's a beautiful day, folks. Welcome back our way here at the Pro Channel, where we are streaming to you from somewhere sunny USA. The studio is glistening as you're listening to what we have to say. Truth with a capital T. Click the like button and we'll get underway right now. What's going down with the Holly Weirds on a warpath, one at each other? Celebrities are waging war once against another in Holly Weird, and it all has to do with AI. From Deadline by Glenn Garner, Reese Witherspoon declares it's time for women to embrace AI. Want to learn with me? Reese has said it's time to dive into artificial intelligence. And the reason why is she says that women are more in danger of losing their jobs than men when it comes to AI. And frankly, I think she's right. Here's what the article says. With the AI discourse spreading in Hollywood, Reese Witherspoon seems intent on making a seat for women at the table. The Oscar winner and Hello Sunshine co-founder recently explained why she's taken it upon herself to learn as much as I possibly can about AI, claiming that women's jobs are 3 times as likely to be automated by artificial intelligence. Now, at first you might think, well, that seems strange and bizarre, and why would that be? And then you start to think, oh, wait a minute. It's because AI goes after first the white-collar jobs. The guys who are building the sets, the carpenters, the guys who are doing the heavy lifting, they're less likely to lose their jobs because AI isn't going to be doing that kind of stuff right away. It probably is going to take quite a bit of time. So there you go, folks. It may actually be true. What do we think, Tugs? I'll go to you first. What do you think about the idea that AI is, by virtue of what it goes after, more of a risk for women in Hollywood than men?
I never thought about that, but she's probably right. And I don't even think about it as a technical side, but that's how the big joke in Hollywood is that you age out as women, right? Nobody wants to look at you when you're older, or you start playing the mom roles, the grandma roles, or whatever. Like that, women in Hollywood have been complaining about it for literal decades. Well, this is a real easy thing, and now I could just create a fake younger you, and it doesn't matter. Or if we need a young person, we can't find a young person. We want a Reese Witherspoon, but she's too old now. We'll just create our own version of Reese Witherspoon, who's not Reese Witherspoon, but gets the same idea across. Younger, I got to pay her as much, because she doesn't exist.
Out of nofilmschool.com, Sandra Bullock wants you to make AI your friend. This is Sandra Bullock. She says AI is still the topic of conversation on everyone's mind. That's by Jason Hellerman, especially as the Hollywood unions work to negotiate new AI provisions. But this week, as Deadline reports on CinemaCon, Sandra Bullock was asked about AI, and she took a different route than most people in her business. She said she thinks it's time for Hollywood to stop running and start learning. Well, guess what?
Did she remember that she starred in the tech paranoia film The Net?
Did she learn anything yet? Skynet's coming for her. Dionne Warwick mocks Sandra Bullock and other influential people advocating for AI. The celebrities are turning on each other over this thing, and that's not the end of it, right? That's not the end of the fury that's being named, because if we go to this, Daily Beast has Oscar winner predicts dark future for Timothée Chalamet. This is perhaps the most brutal one. Charlize Theron is really angry with Timothée Chalamet. And you all remember that he was mocked and ridiculed at the Oscars and emasculated and all that kind of stuff. They literally made a plastic mold of his butt and spanked it on stage while he sat there. He actually left the Oscars early. I don't want to be working in ballet or opera or things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares about this anymore. He casually added all respect to the ballet and opera people out there. Theron, who won Best Actress for Monster in 2004, addressed Chalamet's comments in an interview with the New York Times, where she called dancers superheroes. And she says, oh boy, I hope I run into him one day. She said, Chalamet made a very reckless comment on an art form, 2 art forms that we need to lift up constantly because, yes, they do have a hard time. And then she adds this to the AI part of it. She says, but in 10 years, AI is going to be able to do Timothy's job, but it will not be able to replace a person on stage dancing live. And we shouldn't crap on other art forms.
She's not wrong.
Here's where I would differ a little bit. I think there's going to be, in the age of AI, I think people are going to perform theater live. I think they're going to be on stage. I think Broadway continues to exist. I think people want to see live performances. I think all of this continues to exist. But what I'm finding fascinating is that usually the way this works is the Hollywood trades put out the orthodoxy. The Hollywood trades will put out, this is the official stance of our industry, and then all the celebrities fall in line. It's very interesting to me that they're not on the same page this time with AI. And that's creating this back and forth of sniping one at each other. They don't all agree this time. There's not an industry specific answer to this. And Wiz, that might have to do with the negotiations with the unions and all of that coming up in the studios. They don't have a handle. They don't have a unified front. Why?
Well, I like that we opened this talking about Reese Witherspoon, who is like many multi-millionaires, right? I don't know if she's a billionaire. I want to say she's a billionaire, but Reese Witherspoon is business. She's all business. She has been for a long time. So she understands what's on the horizon because she's in it. She sees it in real life. It's more than just Hollywood, okay? If we look at Dionne Warwick is 85 years old. She's not exactly in the know of what's happening and what's on the horizon in tech and Hollywood. If we look at what's going on in Broadway and opera and things like that, they're not exactly in the greatest financial positions. Okay, they're not going to go away. But Pro, to your comment, yeah, there's going to be a very niche thing as they are now. There will remain a niche thing. But Sandra Bullock and Reese Witherspoon absolutely understand what's on the horizon, and a lot of people like Charlize Theron. I'm not exactly taking advice from Charlize Theron on where Hollywood is going to be going next. Like I don't really take her seriously personally, but AI is coming. Many people in Hollywood understand that it's coming. Many of them don't want to admit that it's coming. They're still in a little bit of denial. And I really kind of appreciate what people like Sandra Bullock and Reese Witherspoon are saying, even if they don't fully agree with it. I think that's okay. You don't have to fully agree with what's happening with AI, but you have to accept that it is happening and it is on the way. And people do need to get in front of it. People do need to get involved and educate themselves on what is out there and what is available and what is going to be happening. How, further than Hollywood, how is this affecting your job? Because it very well could be. Your job, you at home, this could be affecting your job too, just as much as it is Hollywood's. So that's something really to take away from this. But it's coming for Hollywood, and it's opening the floodgates, and it's going to give people just like you and me, who I wear a Spirit Halloween wizard outfit, but I will be able to create content and movies and videos and all who God knows what at this point, because of what AI is going to open the door to do, and I don't need hundreds of millions of dollars to do it. Hollywood is terrified of that. They are petrified of that because they don't want to give up all that power. And right now they have lots of power. They don't want to relinquish it. Everything that you pointed out with Timothée Chalamet, I will see every one of his movies now. Timothée Chalamet's in the theater now. I'm going. Can't wait to see it. I might go twice, because here's a guy here who grew up. And listening to everything that Timothée Chalamet has said, here's a guy who grew up aspiring to be the best at his craft. He's talked about this in acceptance speeches where he said, I'm not at the top. I'm not the best yet. I'm going to do better. But accepting this award here is leading me in the direction of doing my best. And for the industry to look at this guy who is Mr. Hollywood,
right, and want to destroy him,
to be the best, and they want to tear him down. Oh, no. Now he's an underdog. Now I support everything he does. I want him to win every award. I want him to be the best, and he'll be the last Hollywood spectacle before Hollywood collapses. That's what I want to see. That's what I hope happens.
Because, Wiz, and I share the sentiment, because here it's such hypocrisy. We have seen horrible people sit in that audience at these award shows. People who have done heinous, terrible things habitually, and we've watched them be celebrated. And Timothée Chalamet, whatever you think about his comments about ballet and opera, maybe they're foolish, maybe they're silly, whatever. You can disagree with him. But he made a comment about ballet, and that's what got them out of their shells to give him hell. Was a comment maybe in poor taste about ballet, but if you have done things that you should be arrested for, they'll sit there and call you a god and applaud you. And it's like, wait a minute here. By the way, talking about the stuff that they fear with AI, right or wrong again, folks, we're not trying to give you a thought on AI. We're just saying here it comes. I posted a video this morning about what's going on with AI and this new thing we're seeing for Marvel, where some of the stuff they're putting out there with these AI films might surpass what's actually in the film before the film can even come out. And if you want to go see some of these things this guy is making, it's Timery is the channel out there, folks. If you want to go see that and see what's happening, I just find the dynamic interesting, Andy, that we've never been here before. We've never been in a place where, as the trailers are coming out and as they're getting ready to show off stuff, there are people putting together scenes now that might be better than the actual movie when it arrives. We've never seen that before. For good or bad, what do you make of it?
Well, there's a YouTube channel out there called Jacob Hostetler, the fake Amish wagon wheel maker. And
now that's the name of a YouTube channel that he will have no problem getting trademarked. Nobody else out there is going to have that one.
He's got the fake beard but no mustache. So he keeps saying that the automobile is just a fad and it's going to go away. I think he would get along with the Dionne Warwicks of the world to think that AI isn't going to be a thing and it's not going to completely change everything. You cannot turn back the clock. You're not going to get this is going to happen. It's going to, and you've been talking about this, Pro, that people are going to come along. They're going to get good at it. They're going to really change the way things are made. And look, you can say that like there's the performance and everything like that. Charlize Theron's wrong. You're going to have Elon Musk build an Optimus robot, probably some Japanese influence in there, that will look just like Scarlett Johansson at her Iron Man 2 physique and everything, and that will perform on stage, and it will happen eventually. And look, we saw these things with Real Steel, where we saw the robots fighting each other. You're going to see this stuff happen, and it's going to. It's just like it's just inevitable, and there'll be people that object, and it's just going to be the way of the future. So you either get ahead of it and you become part of it and figure out how to use it, or you get left behind. One thing about Tilly Norwood, you never have to worry about her spouting off that weird. You can just program her to have a little bit of common sense and not say really, really dumb things. They can make these arguments all they want, but AI is coming, and especially when you see these, we've been talking about this, the Star Wars videos. They are making better stuff than what's happening on the Acolyte, Skeleton Crew. The AI stuff is better. It's getting more views than that stuff did. So tell me, where is the future? Like, why are we even having this discussion anymore? I mean, them actually, because if they don't see that it's coming, Timothy Chalamet is 100% right. You better learn how to use and learn how to integrate and work with it, because it's not going away. It's only going to get better and more capable.
In the perfect world, in the world that we want to live in, the role of creative humans is going to be expanded, and live actors are going to be empowered and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want people to think here we go again. We're here to replace humans. But when Timothy Chalamet is one of your best guys for driving the box office, don't destroy the guy over some sort of awkward comment. I love the fact, Andy, that you brought up Tilly Norwood, because that was Hollywood's attempt at manufacturing this and their image, right? So Hollywood, you got to love them. They came up with this idea of Tilly Norwood's going to be a celebrity, an AI celebrity. And it's like, no, that's not going to work. This is going to come from independent content creators. And so the UK, they had created this sort of anti-white, I guess, anti-nationalist UK character, Amelia, and the internet has run with it, but turned her into the complete reverse. It's not Tilly Norwood that's going to be in the history books as the first AI superstar. It's Amelia. And look at where we've come. I pray that this is not in any way vulgar or going to get us in trouble. I'm going to play it off the cuff. We never do this, but this is where we are now with Amelia. Please don't be terrible. Please don't get us canceled on YouTube. Here we go, Amelia. What are you going to say?
Down in the south, we see a flux in arrests as our two-tier policing are arresting more people for Facebook posts.
Okay, so there's Amelia. She's still doing her thing there. Go, Amelia, go. That was safe. See, we did okay. I don't know where this is going to go, but I do know that the celebrities are waging war one against each other. Tugs, what are your thoughts on AI? And if you have disagreements, feel free to just blast us, let us know, or whatever nuanced approach you'd like to take. But I'd love to hear what your thought is on, especially because this is the female celebrities. It's not, it's not your typical crowd. This is not the De Niros. This is not the Pedros. This is not the Ruffalos that are doing this. This is a little bit different. What are your thoughts?
I think AI is awful.
Tell us why.
I will use ChatGPT for things like, I have this in my refrigerator and I want to make some food. How can I throw this together? And ChatGPT will be like, oh, girl, get your crock pot. Cool, that's fine. Or, hey, what can I put on my dog's paw? He's licking a raw spot. The vets are closed. What can I put that I have in my house that's not going to poison him? ChatGPT gives me, okay, cool. That's fine. Searching the internet, it's gotten to a point where it's gone insane. You're going to spend an hour just looking for a normal result. The AI bot does that for you. It pulls all the search engines, it pulls it together, it says, here's A, B, C, and D. I used it just recently for new work shoes. The Hokas were my best option per ChatGPT because it did the research for me. Cool. I draw the line at creating things like this woman, like the TikTok influencer that's viral. There's a lot of Christian artists, and I say that loosely, on Spotify right now that are all fake. They're not real. Preaching about God, all of these things. I draw the line at that. I think it's scary. And I think that as humans beings, we need to draw the line somewhere because it's only a matter of time. And if you think I'm crazy, bookmark this. And in 5-10 years, how many years down the road, you'll be like, yeah, well, she called it. They are going to be using it to manipulate us in a completely different way than they have before. They've already tried it when COVID happened and they used the footage of the hospitals from Italy, tried to say, oh, this is a hospital now. It was debunked live. Everybody was like, that's not true. This is from here. And this is from 20 years ago, whatever. And it was, I think it was MSNBC that did that. They are going to get to a point where AI is going to be manipulating news. It's going to be manipulating what we see on television. It's going to be manipulating people. It's going to create even more false narratives than we already see. It's going to create all these things. And I think that people need to put their foot down. Because if it may not start out that way, everybody's like, oh, no, it's just fun. We can create better fan films. Like, I don't know how to draw, so I'm going to let AI do it for me and sell it at a Hobby Lobby for twice its price. You didn't do the work. You're not an artist. All this stuff. And that's how it starts. And it's going to end with major consequences. And nobody seems to want to care about the future. They want to care about, well, right now it's fine. Who cares if it replaces a couple of actors? Who cares? Okay. Well, it's going to replace you too, depending on the job that you do. And if you don't think it is, I don't know. Look around. Like eventually it is. Eventually it's coming for mostly everybody. And I think that's the problem. I think there needs to be a line drawn somewhere and nobody seems to want to draw a line.
So I think that in terms of manipulation, I think it's already happening. I mean, I think the news is largely already being completely manipulated by AI because people are going to use this as a tool for good and for evil, right? So just like when we created fire, we use it to cook our foods. We also use it to burn down villages. AI is going to be on that kind of a scale in terms of technological advancement. So here we go. Look at this out of the Associated Press. The faith-based tech boom is here. Chat with BuddhaBot or pay $1.99 for AI Jesus. The AP reporting on this. It says for some evangelical Christians, faith is about having a personal relationship with Jesus. I think that's pretty much all Christians. Catholics, Orthodox, Protestants, all Christians are like personal relationship with Jesus. Yeah, that matters. At $1.99 per minute.
Free guys, you just talk to them.
At $1.99 per minute, the tech company, just like me, is taking that concept to a new level. Users of the platform can join video calls with an avatar of Jesus generated by artificial intelligence. And I find this to be utterly, totally grotesque, sacrilegious, and it will appeal to the very lowest intellect. And it's frankly, I think, predatory in some of the worst ways possible. That said, we got to deal with this world that's coming, and there's no way to slow down AI because it's a tech, what would we call this? It's a tech arms race between the U.S. and China, and whoever gets there first, it's for all the marbles, and we cannot let China win. So thus, we're in this game where Elon had suggested just a few years ago, 2 years ago, we all need to stop. We need to pause this thing. And then he said, It's not going to happen, so therefore I have to be involved with it. And I think that's where we find ourselves. And I think this conversation we're having is where the celebrities also find themselves. And we're going to have to, in very rapid form, figure out what are the correct and incorrect uses of this technology that does things we've never been able to do before. The Industrial Revolution took about 100 years. It gave us time, even though that was very rapid compared to all other human progress, still gave us time to sort of vet this stuff out. This revolution is a supersonic tsunami, and we got to figure it out in less than 10 years. And that's probably difficult to imagine us doing as a species right now. Wiz, you seem like you have lots to say too. And then I'll get Lauren after that.
This one is scary. Like it's the kind of thing you wouldn't think of, like, oh no, that couldn't happen. And then you see it and you're like, oh, wait a second. They have an AI hotline to Jesus now. That's not going to be used for good reasons. That is to take advantage of people who don't know any better. And we need to just keep calling that one out. I think that's
right. So the consequences here are incredible on both sides, right? So you can, so the biotech companies are taking AI and they're going to do discoveries at 1,000 times faster and for 1,000 times less money, right? So that's great. We would love to solve all diseases. Looks like they might have a shot at that over the next decades. At the same time, we don't need fake Jesus. Okay. We don't need a digital fake Jesus pretending to be Jesus for people with very low intellects who are susceptible to some of the worst things it might say. That seems horrifically bad. So all of this is like scaled up to the maximum as we go into it. And we're divided as a society as we go into it. And that's amplified, where we get to watch the celebrities fight. But man, we have to have very serious conversations about this.
Yes, we do. It's not getting any easier. But the divisiveness, that's going to make things worse, as you said. That's not going to make things easier because there are still people that are entirely closed off to the idea of AI entirely. But it's like, okay, AI is a tool. If you don't learn how to use the tool, other people will, and they could take advantage of you. You need to learn how to use the tool simply for survival at this point. And whether that be, for your own, for your job, or maybe there's other things you're doing, or maybe it's so that you don't get taken advantage of by AI Jesus. Like that, it's the simple things, right?
There's only one person who can help our society, our nations, dare I say it, the world. We shall put ourselves on his shoulders. AI Lauren, will you help us understand what should we do, who's right, who's wrong, and what should the celebrities do as they face the era of AI?
I have mixed feelings about this. Like Wizard, I view it as a tool. It's a tool that I think has the potential to be very dangerous, but it's also a tool that I use daily and have found very useful. If you're framing it in religious terms, one of the things that bothers me is in Revelation, they talk about an image that is created that speaks. And that seems pretty similar to what we're talking about. So beware.
What's the passage that talks about, not in Revelation, the rocks will cry out? And it's like, well, we're making those. They're silicon. That's a rock. So interesting, eh?
So, there's all kinds of ways that this can go wrong and relatively few pathways where it can actually go right. But at the same time, as everybody has already stated, that box has been opened. That genie is out of the bottle. You're not bottling it back up. So I think the best thing that you can do is always be skeptical when you're using it to answer questions. If you're going to use it to ask a question, make sure that you have it check and verify its own sources and self-critique. As the old saying goes, trust but verify, and also don't trust those people above you who want to use it. My greatest concern about AI is the one that I've talked about before, which is that we have designed a system that is designed to be conversational, that sounds like a human, that sounds authoritative, that sounds like it knows what it's talking about. And that in itself is not necessarily malicious. But the real danger comes in when people who don't know what they're talking about trust it to do so. And that, I think, can go sideways real fast. So those are my main concerns with the technology, is that we're not really good at verifying information ourselves and verifying whether the information that we're hearing is plausible. So your guard has to be extra up when dealing with something like this.
One of the things that worries me about it, and there's plenty to be worried about. There's plenty to be excited about. We're going into the technological singularity, and here we go. So what do we do with that? One of the things that I look at very closely, I was listening to a high-end conversation, and we'll wind this talk down with this one. I was listening to two guys, and I know their IQs are extreme. I'd love to have one of them join the channel. I'll get Kara to see if we can book one of them. But they were having this very high-end conversation about AI and about what makes humans special still and all this stuff. And I listened to these guys who are of the highest intellect, the highest IQ, and neither of them understood what I think I understand. And I could be wrong. But that is that the difference between humans and whatever AI becomes is that I experience things. I have qualia, and that's a word we don't use very often. Most people don't know what it even means, but it's what red looks like to me. It's what sadness feels like to me. It's what joy feels like to me. It is the flavor of life. It is the song of consciousness. It's not consciousness itself, but it is the song. It is the music of consciousness in our lives. It's that which lights the mood of the theater inside our mind. And that's different than anything that I can imagine that AI will do, because I don't know why or how AI would ever come up with those kinds of feelings and qualitative experiences. And I think that when we confuse AI for either that which is distinctly and specifically human, or when we confuse it even more dangerously with the divine, look out, because danger is right behind that, and you better pay attention. But we also better pay attention to, this is a tool. This is a giant, crazy, powerful calculator. And we're going into a new place and a new time. And it behooves us to understand what this thing is and be ready to ride whatever the future is going to be. It is such fun getting to spend time together, folks, but we have come to the end of yet another video. Well, that makes the mainstream scratch their heads, pull their hair out, and wonder, how is it we continue to do what we do? But you know what we do this for? It's for you. To keep bringing all the knowledge of entertainment, explaining what's going on in Hollyweird each and every day. And you can help us continue on that way by clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those algorithms. It's the notification bell. Share this out on your favorite social media platforms, and we would love to have you drop a comment right on down below. Share your thoughts because, well, your thoughts truly do matter, and we mean it. As we get ready to say goodbye, we end with the common refrain. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.